Welcome to this week's Global Quickie. I'm Michael Brooks. Each week on the Global Quickie, pick a topic from the international realm, break it down for you, give you some bigger context for understanding it. On this week's Global Quickie, is Europe going to be the site of another world war? Well, if you're looking at the Pentagon's 2017 budget request, which proposes quadrupling Europe's defense budget and moving significant military resources primarily to Central and Eastern Europe, you might say yes. And the reason for this proposal, according to U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter, could not be more clear. It's all about Russian aggression. And he had the following to say at a policy speech in Washington recently. He said, "We're taking a strong and balanced approach to deter Russian aggression. We haven't had to worry about this for 25 years, and while I wish it were otherwise, now we do." And basically, going back to 2014 with the Russian annexation in Ukraine and Russia's sort of aggressive policy towards Ukraine, we have seen a significant heightening of tensions. This flows straight out of that. That's why the resources are moving to Baltic states, to Central and Eastern Europe. Now, according to Michael McNamara, who's a NATO specialist at the University of Tartu, he said this is not a signaling a return to Cold War era deterrence, which relied on heavy U.S. military buildup in Europe. Instead, this $3.4 billion can be seen as an important down payment on a new style U.S. deterrence posture in Eastern Europe, emphasizing constant rotation of military units and pre-positioning of equipment. Now, these are offensive moves. And since the end of the Cold War, we have thought, especially through the 1990s, but even in the last 15 years with greater tensions, that global conflict not as likely to break out in Europe, more likely to break out in a place like maybe China and the Pacific Rim, possibly, obviously, the Middle East has many military challenges and security threats that could broaden out into something larger. But Europe has been thought of as a almost postmodern zone of development and peace for a long time. And with the economic crisis, the sort of utopian image was disrupted. And now with this security crisis, Europe is headed back to the center of global conflict in the 21st century. So is war likely? No. But it is a lot less far-fetched to think about war happening in Europe than it was certainly at any other time since the end of the Cold War. I'm Michael Brooks, and that's this week's Global Quickie.